All right, good morning, everybody. Today, I got the 125 ATMX back up on the stand here. We're going to go ahead and pull the side case off and address that clutch slipping issue and take a look at the Kickstarter and see why it's not returning when it goes all the way down. Actually, it feels like it's over rotating right there and it's sticking. So that's a common thing that happens to these, is from when the Kickstarter comes back up, after it's running, it slams up. And what happens is, let me show you on another Kickstarter. Okay, this part here, this goes against the stop inside the case. When you put this in, the spring is lined up in a hole, and then there's a stop here. When you kick it, it comes around like this, and when you release it, it comes back and it slams. Sometimes this right here where it's pressed, this piece is pressed onto the shaft. I don't know if you can see it in there, but there's like teeth. Those will slip sometimes. And the only way to fix it is to press this off, relocate it, press it back on. So I don't have a press. I don't have any way to change them, but I've got 3 other Kickstarter gears. So we'll check this one and see what it looks like. And I'll just try the different gears. When the part hasn't slipped, when this comes all the way down to the bottom, it should hit the foot peg right there before that tang intersects into the case. Once I get this apart, I can explain it to you better, but let's go ahead and get started on this. So we're going to take and drop it down a little bit here. Right about there. We're going to go ahead and start pulling this all apart. First of all, we're going to have to pull the foot pegs off, because foot pegs got to come off to get the case off. So get this side. That's off. The other side. You're gonna have to excuse me today if I end up doing a lot of sniffing. For some reason, this time of year, my allergies really kick in, and I had my allergies tested. I'm allergic to almost every tree, so my allergies tear me up pretty much year round. There are a lot of trees in the winter and fall that do bloom, so I'm kind of screwed year round on that. Get this oil drained out here. That's a long pull. There it goes. Aha, didn't even get any oil on my hands. Nice. Nice clean oil. Actually, I've already changed the oil in this. That's one of the first things I do when I get a bike, is I automatically drain the oil, put new oil in it. Never know what's going to be inside, so it's always safe to do that right off the bat. Okay, Kickstarter off. This cover's got to come off because there's a screw inside there. This bike is not running an oil injection, but it's still got the stock dual cable throttle cable on it. But they just took out the one side that runs to the oil injection. It's got a block off plate there. Okay, let's see how tight these are. Oh, that one came out. Oh, getting lucky here. Wow, they're not that tight, but it was not leaking any oil. Okay, these all have to be tighter than this, but it wasn't leaking any oil, so I guess I lucked out there. That was about the tightest one. Now, if I can get this off without tearing up the gasket, I won't have to reuse the gasket. That'd be nice. Actually, it looks like it's had a new gasket put in here recently. You can still see the gasket sealer on there. It doesn't look too bad. Not leaking any oil around the Kickstarter, so I'm not going to worry about that seal. Engine's really clean. I mean, it's not leaking oil anywhere. So, all right. Let me, that's nice. Right off. All right. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and pull the clutch assembly off here. And so I can get to this Kickstarter unit without interference, and I can see everything. Excuse me. Like I said, I'll probably be coughing a lot. Get my impact wrench out here. This is where I like to cheat. I use my drill motor. Okay, now I will be checking these clutch discs. I'll mic them out if they're good. A lot of times what happens is these metal discs, they don't really wear out, but sometimes they'll get smooth and shiny with a glaze on them. So just wipe them down, run them on some sandpaper on both sides, kind of roughens them back up a little bit, and then you're good to go. But I'll check all that in a bit. Let me get the rest of this clutch housing off. Okay. So, socket and a big ratchet. And my clutch holding tool. There we go. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this clutch assembly off, the inner and outer all in one unit. Reach back in there, get the gear and that center sleeve all as one unit. Lay it upside down here. That way it's guaranteed I don't lose any of the parts. All right, now get that kicker off of there. Let's play around with that first. All right, right there. Wish I had a zoom on this. I can't get you any closer. Pull the spring off. Okay, this comes out. Okay, you can see inside the case right here. Let me see if I can get you in there closer. See the case right there. Right here is where that dog leg on the kicker. This part right here is coming around and hitting in the case right there. So what I'm thinking is this has slipped. So that is there. Okay, one way to test it. Clean that off. Get a marking pin Could find one. I know I got one around here somewhere. A marker. There it is. This is all the way where it's supposed to be. Put a mark at the 12 o'clock position. Then you can put the kicker on it, rotate this around, right there is where you can see the inside. You're not going to be able to tell, but inside you can see where that lever comes around and hits the case. It's supposed to stop right there, but this is actually supposed to be in that position before that hits. So that unit is spun. All right, let me grab the other pieces I have and look at them. Also, I believe, I don't know if you can tell or not, but right here, the end of that spring goes through a hole in that shaft. That hole, let's just call that 90 degrees. That hole is supposed to be in the 12 o'clock position when that tab is in there. Right now, it's about the 11 o'clock position. So that's a good indication that that one is spun. And let's see. Okay, this one is a complete different location. So let me put this one in here. We'll put this Kickstarter back on. We'll put that at the 12 o'clock position. Now, we'll see how far around it comes. Right there. And that's at the stop position. That's where it's supposed to be, not here. So that's a good Kickstarter right there. That's a good one. So we'll use this one. I'm going to have to work on those other ones. Figure out what's going on with them. Okay. Now we'll bring the spring back around. Yeah, see, that'll come around. That'll hit the foot peg before anything else hits. So that's a good one. We'll only take this back off and put them side by side so you can see the difference here. Because I have, like I said, I have 4 of them, but 2 of them, they're all different. Okay, get you over here. You can see here, maybe, get this all moved over here so maybe you can see it okay. All right. If you look at all these gears, I have the springs set up at the 12 o'clock position. And you can see they're all the same except for this one. These 3 look the same. And I believe this is the one I put in there that was the good one. Let me check it back in again. my Kickstarter. No. Okay, so this one must have been the one that was in there because it's hitting. So these three, you can tell they're angled this way more, and this one's more straight up. So these three are good. That one is slipped. That's a common occurrence on these 125, 175 engines. That gear slipping around. And that's caused from the Kickstarter letting the Kickstarter slap as it comes back up. When it does, it's like slowly but surely it's hammering that piece around that shaft. It strips the teeth out. So I do have extras of these, so it's no big deal. Okay, now let me move you over a little bit here, and we will check those clutch plates to see if they're in spec. All right, I got my micrometers here, and I've got the book, and it calls out right here. I don't know if you can see that very good, but it's 4.0 millimeters thickness on the clutch discs. So let's measure one of these puppies. I would say that if one is good, they all should be good. And let's see here. And it's measuring 4.03. 4.0. Okay, so I'd say the clutch discs are good. They look like they're brand new. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the steel plates, wipe them down, and I'm going to take and run them on like a piece of surface plate. We got new countertops in the house, and we got quartz. Well, the piece that came out of the sink, where the sink cut out, I kept, because that is going to work for my surface plate for cleaning all the steel plates. So let me get these things set up, and I'll bring you back in a minute. Okay, everyone, let me see if I can get this thing all back together with the camera right here. I don't have a lot of room. I don't have any other way to get the camera to where it's straight in. We're going to start off by checking the shifter linkage, because when I did test ride it, it didn't go into gear good. I had to play around with the shifting with the gear shifter. So right now it's in neutral. Go down into first. There's first. There's second. There's third. There's fourth. There's fifth. Okay. Fourth, third, second, first, neutral. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in. See right there, when it's in neutral, there's first. Well, then in neutral, when I go to put it in the second gear, it doesn't go in. So that tells me that the shift linkage is not adjusted correctly. See, got to go from first all the way to second. We'll go in third gear and we'll pull the screw out. If I can get that. Where's the shifter at over here? Okay. Pull the screw out, take this plate off and check and see how even this is. Okay, yeah, you can see right here, the gap here and the gap here are not even. So I need to adjust this. And to do that, right down here, I have to knock the flat down. Excuse me. I have to knock the lock washer down from the nut, loosen the nut, and then I can adjust the shift linkage. Let me see if I can get in here and do that without knocking the camera around. I'm going to back you up a little bit so I can have some hammer room. Okay, I believe that's a 17. Yep. Get this lock nut loosened up. Not a lot of room in there. Just wanting to turn the screw. All right. Get my big dog screwdriver. I'm going to move you over here to the side a little bit. I got to come into here straight on. Got to try to hold this. And loosen that. Okay, I tightened it. I turned it a little bit. Now the gap looks almost right on the money. I still need to loosen that up a little bit. Okay, right there looks good. Tighten this back up. Okay. Flatten this back over. Use the right tool for the job, right? Phillips head. Okay. Now, if you look, you can see the gap right there looks a lot more even. So let's see what it's like shifting. There's first, Second, let me put it back into neutral. There's first, neutral. See, it goes into second, out of neutral. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, fourth, third, second, first, neutral. Perfect. All right. I'm going to take and put a little drop of some Loctite on this screw. Let me get my bottle open. Little drop of Loctite on that screw. Let's get that back in here. Okay, as I tighten this up, it's going to go in gear. Okay, that's tight. Put it back in neutral. Yep, we're in neutral. Hey everyone, I'm going to put this video in two parts, just get to where it's run a little bit long. So this will be the end of part one, Kickstarter and clutch repair. I'll see you guys all on part two.